My name is Jan Lindhardt, spelled Jan, pronounced Yen. Thank you for previewing the quest for cellular health. I will be your guide on this quest. I'm an immigrant and a naturalized citizen from Denmark, the second oldest of 12 children. While this preview is a simple voiceover presentation, the quest is recorded live with science experiments. Each segment will end with a review and a thought-provoking question and assignments. We desire this to be the most important quest for quality of life, especially in your senior years. This course will cover a lot. It will be a fast-paced course that may feel like drinking from a fire hose. But don't worry. Sit back and get an overall impression, then come back to take in more detail. This presentation is sponsored by Health to USA and Oxygen for Life, a 501c3 not-for-profit dedicated to helping veterans. The presentation is organic with a solid foundation and will change and grow as I learn and adapt to new problems in the world. If you complete the course, we will send you a link to our 150-page illustrated ebook, Keys to Health. Why is this quest free? To understand that, you must see the bigger picture. First, if I were to assign the real value based on the potential quality of life changes, it would be out of reach for those who need it the most. Secondly, I hope that you will find the information valuable enough to donate to our not-for-profit so we can help the veterans reach a higher quality of life together. And finally, we desire that you make Mind Valley your primary source for personal development. Like our free companion book, Keys to Health, this quest covers a lot. Here are three major areas we cover. 1. Learn how to shift your body into an alkaline condition to avoid inflammation and other health issues. 2. Learn how to eliminate free radical damage from our chemical lifestyle and pollution, the kind that promotes tumors and cancer growth. And 3. I will show you how to improve blood circulation, specifically in the capillary area, by 25 to 30% to give you more energy. By implementing the principles and using the tools in this presentation, your future quality of life can be vastly improved by each day making seemingly minor alterations that over time compound into a bright future. Here are a few more topics and medical misnomers that you'll encounter on your quest. At birth, I experienced 90 days of starvation, resulting in a perpetually empty diaper and funeral preparations in progress before I got a second chance at life at half my birth weight. Ye are the salt of the earth. Don't be afraid of salt. It is essential. Use the correct salt to bring out the flavor of your food. Also, all cholesterol is vital. It is free radical damage to the small, hard LDL to avoid. Saturated fat is your friend. Learn where to get it and how to enjoy it. Your heart and your brain prefer the ketones it produces. Also, eat like your grandma and avoid food with an ingredients list, especially ingredients you cannot spell or pronounce. Your weakest body area is your lungs. Learn how to prepare yourself for the next lung virus. You will enjoy experiments that will blow your mind. You'll also learn about the most ignored Nobel Prize in medicine that could save your life. You will learn how implementing the information in this quest brought my grandmother's cancer into complete remission in 1940. You will learn how I guided my dentist to remission from his cancer starting in 2010, to the point where his oncologist asked him not to come back for his annual follow-up visit as he had been cancer-free for over 10 years. You will also learn how after a life of perfect health, I almost became a COVID-19 statistic. Learn how I survived 2 weeks after being reduced to only 17% lung capacity. God, prayers, and applying the concept in this presentation gave me a third chance at life. I will show you 11 mostly free ways to get a lifetime supply of essential life-saving element. I wish I could take credit for discovering the key to cellular health. While I have over 15,000 hours of research and self-education, we have to go back over 100 years to understand the root concept. In 1918, First World War was going strong. A 30-year-old Ulan cavalry officer and the frontline surgeon got a minor wound for which he received the Iron Cross. He had a dual PhD in chemistry and medicine. As a friend of the family, Albert Einstein petitioned to have him released from war duty. Dr. Einstein did not want his friend Otto Heinrich Warburg's talent wasted on the front line. Dr. Warburg was a researcher at heart and wanted to understand the workings of tumor and cancers. Over the next 13 years, he got 26 Nobel nominations, and in 1931, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine for his discovery of how to create and heal tumors and cancers. Neither doctors nor the pharmaceutical industry can monetize his discovery. That Nobel Prize in medicine is the most ignored until now. You will shortly learn the fundamentals. But first, I want to tell you what motivates me. To understand this quest, I need to share some essential items. Let me introduce you to a temple that is important to me. Not the one where my wife and I got married. It is important to me. However, the other temple is much more essential to me. God gave me this temple so that my spirit could have a human experience. He made me caretaker of it. The temple is located below my scalp and consists of my mind and my body, each having a timer. Those timers are rarely synchronized. I was not the best caretaker of my temple. My mother cooked like her mother, with single ingredients, nothing boxed or in cans, unless she canned it. However, one exception was breakfast. My dad bought Kellogg's cornflakes in a hefty 10-pound box that we enjoyed with bananas and milk. I walked or used my bicycle in Denmark to get to the bus or train stations. I was always trim and fit. I arrived in America weighing 150 pounds, wearing size 30 pants. As my wife and I started our large family of 8 children, it was all about getting enough carbohydrates to match my meager income. A lot of potatoes, rice, bread, and sometimes hot dog spaghetti made with ketchup. When I finally got a high-paying job working with Fortune 500 companies, I would leave Monday morning and return Friday night, leaving my wife to raise the children. That meant hotel breakfast, what they incorrectly call continental breakfast, with a poor imitation of Danish pastry. Hamburgers, pizza, and tacos for lunch. I learned to enjoy Mexican food. I then finished the day at a restaurant. It was the sad, standard American diet at its worst. I ended up expanding to size 44, weighing 240 pounds, most likely pre-diabetic with carpal tunnel tendinitis and having a tough time walking upstairs. I was not a good caretaker of my temple. In 1992, when I got laid off and started my computer company, my wife and I got serious about wellness, as we could not afford health insurance. Learning about nutrition became a passion of mine. This picture is right after my return from my COVID-19 event. We are no longer obese, just old-fashioned overweight. We are still a work in progress. I now want to live a high quality of life and die of old age. I did not say I want to die old. Few Americans live past 80. Many have endured hip, knee replacement, stents, bypass, organ replacement with accompanying toxic medication. Consequently, they donate their retirement funds to the medical system and forfeit 40 years of an enjoyable retirement. My 99-year-old mother-in-law lives in luxury, driving her Mercedes to shop, casino visits, or her bridge club. She manages her investment and is entirely independent. I want to live to the maximum of 120 years, free of illness, and then say, as a Native American great-grandfather would say, today is a good day to die. To achieve that, we have to look at a human cell. You have about 35 to 37 trillion cells in your body. However, You're also hosting over 100 trillion microbial cells. You are more microbial than human. But that's a story for another day. Fortunately, all the skin cells are on the outside and the organ cells are on the inside. The cell is much like a small city with factories called organelles and thousands of power plants called mitochondria that generates 90 millivolts of power but are easily damaged. Let's enter the Capitol building in the middle called the nucleus. Inside the nucleus, you will find the X and Y chromosomes you got from your parents. And inside that, you'll find the DNA strand that makes you uniquely you. Even though the skin regenerates, the birthmark or freckles come right back. I accidentally shredded the tip of my pointer finger on my right hand by carelessness on my table saw, which is much too gross to show. I knew they would have eliminated the joint if I had gone to the hospital. Being from Europe, where we use the metric system, only able to count to 9.5 would be a mess. I used colloidal silver, a unique healing cream my wife created, and gave it an abundant oxygen stimulation and wrapped it up. My DNA restored it perfect, good as new, and a lot of restoration took place. I raised over 8 children as the owner of a computer consulting company for more than 30 years. Therefore, allow me to make a comparison between you and Microsoft Windows. Windows code is a series of zeros and ones occupying 1.3 gigabyte, that is 1.3 billion characters on a DVD or small USB stick. That's impressive. Now let's compare it to the instructions using 4 DNA characters to make up a unique person called you. The DNA is wound so tightly it can fit on the tip of a pen. However stretched out, it measures over 6 feet in length. There are 4 DNA strings per chromosome and 46 chromosomes per cell, totaling about 1,200 feet of code per cell. Multiply that by 37 trillion cells and you get roughly 8.4 billion miles, or more than twice around the solar system. I have a difficulty believing this complexity is self-created over time, developing consciousness and the ability to procreate without the involvement of a higher power. That code length made up half from your mother and half from your father. To grasp how small a cell is, let's ask Dr. Seuss. You will find the city of Whoville on a floating speck of dust on a clover flower. Not too far-fetched. Dust is often only twice the size of a white immune cell. When the sun shines through your window, what you see are mainly dead skin cells, some microbes, as well as ordinary household dust. You can walk 4 to 20 human cells through a hollowed out hair. But the DNA does not determine longevity. The end caps on the mitochondria protecting the DNA are in charge of that. Those end caps are called telomeres. Each time a cell divides or replicates, the telomeres get shorter. You were born with about 15,000 base pairs. Growing into a teenager burns up about 5,000, leaving you with 10,000. If that growth rate continued, you could only reach 30 years old. The teen growing spurt makes you enter adulthood with 7,000. At that time, you are done growing up. If you are not careful, you fill existing fat cells instead. By the time you're my age, you have about 4,000 base pairs remaining. If you take good care of your body, the telomeres will last until you reach around 120 years old. Feed your mitochondria and protect your telomeres as if your life depends on them, because it does. If your lifestyle destroys the telomeres before they're ready to die, the cell will enter into a zombie state, also called a senescent state, alive but no longer reproducing. Those zombies will gather together into benign tumors or plaque on your brain, blocking signaling. If one of the zombies mutate to live on fermentation instead of oxygen, you have a cancer cell that can divide but cannot die. It does not know that it's a cancer cell. It simply multiplies. Fortunately, benign zombies will excrete a chemical that will call on the immune system to eradicate the cancerous ones and a few zombies while there. If the immune system is busy with bacteria, viruses, or chemical invaders, cancer cells can divide faster than the immune system can eliminate them. Then you have a problem. I will show you how to create an internal environment that will destroy tumors and cancers. In life, you get two options: longevity or quality of life. I desire to offer you both. However, longevity without quality of life can be debilitating. Issues on the mind, such as Alzheimer's or others, forms of dementia, make you lose your identity, not knowing what you had for breakfast, or not even recognizing the loved one feeding you. This one scares me the most, becoming a living zombie, where the heart is working, but no one is home upstairs. The other option is you protect your mind, but incrementally destroy your body. You are smart enough to keep your calendar for doctor's visits and when to take your pills for heart issue, cancer, diabetes, and much more. Most put money into retirement accounts to hand it over to the medical system when they retire. There are options. You can have both high quality of life and longevity. Don't buy into anti-aging. The minute you are no longer aging, you're dead. Embrace aging as genuine living. 10% of the population die each year. In 2020, that was 3,383,729. I did not include the 1.2 million aborted lives. We need the immigrants to make up for our native growth rate of only 1.5 children per couple. We are a careless group with over 200,000 dying in accidents. We're also a mean bunch, as over 21,000 are murdered each year. Suicide account for at least 2,000 deaths. 2 to 3% die of genetic issues, leaving 85% not reaching their potential due to incremental suicide by lifestyle. Here's a terrible statistic. America's healthcare system induced deaths are the third leading cause of death in the US after heart disease and cancer. An estimated 1.7 million hospital-acquired infections occur in the United States acute care hospitals, and about 99,000 patients with hospital-acquired infections die during their hospitalization. Those were pre-COVID statistics. In 2021, estimated that those statistics rose by 30%. Heart disease, 647,457. Cancer, 599,108. And avoidable death due to medical treatment causing 234,000 needless death and associated family suffering. It is easy to blame the doctors and the medical system. I believe it's time to face the fact that the doctors are not responsible for your lifestyle. Ignorance of long-term consequences of lifestyle choices brought people to the hospital. The person to blame is staring you back in the mirror. It is time to take responsibility for your health into your own hands by practicing prevention and following the recommendation in this quest for cellular health. In the rest of the quest, we'll look closely at the zombie battlegrounds and how to win the war on cellular health. I hope you enjoyed the preview of the quest. Sign up for the free quest for cellular health and prepare for a high-quality life, especially in your senior years. I offer a one-time 30-minute consultation to guide you or answer your questions. In the meantime, you can always email your questions to Yen at health2usa.com or text me at 816-914-5161 so I can call you back. I answer very few calls that I do not recognize. Summary, review, and challenges on the next two slides. Thank you, and may God bless you. Key points to ponder. Everything in life starts and ends at cellular level. From prevention to healing, it's up to you. Feed your mitochondria and protect your telomeres as if your life depends on them, because it does. In life, you get two options, longevity or quality of life. I desire to offer you both. Don't buy into anti-aging. The minute you're no longer aging, you are dead. Embrace aging as genuinely living. Your challenge. Go to mindvalley.com and sign up for the free Quest to Cellular Health. 2. We have the key to health. You should ask for your copy. 3. Take your health into your own hands. 4. Go to a mirror and say out loud, I want to enjoy my retirement. And number 5, go to oxygenforlife.org and make a donation. Thank you again, and may God bless you.